You see, there are things that we need to understand. If not, you miss the purpose of God for you, for what we are doing. If you don't understand it, we need to probably understand some things about gatekeeping. You may not understand why for maybe over 4 years all the prayers we pray is about Ghana. We breaking through the atmosphere of Ghana, voices rising from Ghana to the international stream and all of that. And the kind of spirit that come to confront us are spirit that are in charge over the regions of Ghana, the spirit that are in charge over the cities, spirit that are in charge of Ghana. Powers and even forces from the heavenlies are deployed in attempt to sway us to stop what we are doing. That a spirit can manifest and then talk about what you are trying to do in the nation, which he thinks that you are not supposed to do, because the focus that we have is that the atmosphere of Ghana will be open, that the church of Ghana will break free and things will move to the international stream. And you may not understand why that is the burden. It's because we are gatekeepers. Gatekeeping. Why will many spirits come to confront us? Spirit that when they introduce themselves, even you are shocked that we are just in our corner here doing what we think we have to do, doing what God has laid on our hearts. Hi. Let me show you something in Daniel. I'll tell you something about the church in Ghana. What happened? Something happened when the gatekeepers and the watchers over cities, over the nation. I tell you, there are men, prayerful watchers, priests that are assigned as watchers. They may not be the ones that may be popular, but I tell you that what happens in the church of Ghana, what happens in Ghana with the church, depends on them. Not even on the preachers, not on the preachers alone. Most of the preachers will enter into the labor of the intercessors. They will enter into the labor of the watchers. People who have been enthroned as governors, they are in the hiding. When Daniel went to interpret the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, and the king was so pleased, and the king said that he want to make Daniel a president, set him over a territory. Why we may intercede for Ghana and cause the atmosphere of Ghana to open, and maybe you may not even enter into that harvest. Just maybe, because as a gatekeeper, sometimes you don't have to be busy. You are keeping prayer watches 8 hours plus in a day. Those are the watches that are assigned to you. The quota that alone makes you tired. That alone is draining enough. So if you start traveling now, who will keep those watches? And when those gates closes, something will go wrong. Do you know what will happen? You see, there was a season that at that time that Archbishop and Bishop Ajinasari and Dr. Otabel and all of those men of God were, they're watching. The gatekeeping was with Archbishop. And when you watch, at that time was when ministers from Ghana went international. Some of them were not really prayerful, were not really keeping watch, but because certain men like Archbishop had broken through the limitation, had broken through the resistance. When the gatekeepers break open the gate, everybody, people without strength will still walk through. And sometimes when it happens like that, sometimes it's a bit painful, because as we are here, we know what is happening in Ghana spiritually, the different things and different spirit that we've confronted to pave way, so that we confronted the horns of Jezebel. The heavens opened in last year, right? Not 2022, 2021. They were the power. That's when we confronted the power in charge of Ghana. We confronted territorial spirit. We dethroned certain territorial spirit. We confronted the power assigned over Ghana for many centuries, and that atmosphere was open. And then when the harvest comes, sometimes you are not even permitted to enter the harvest. So during Archbishop's time, what happened was that you will find out that by intercession, that capacity that he had, only few men, if there was any, that prayer, it was so strong that it paved way and broke the deadlock over the atmosphere? What stops men from breaking into the international stream? That limitation, that hindrance was broken because he stood as a gatekeeper, and many others entered into his rest. You know, the Bible said that Lazarus was supposed to rest in Abraham's bosom. Because of what Abraham did, Lazarus could rest. He had a bosom to rest. So different men of God began to rise, whom the energy was not that strong, and then they couldn't stand to support the man. You know, sometimes you can enter into a harvest that you may think it is you. You don't know that there are intercessors. I pray that your intercessor will not fall. When the watchers are attacked, that's when you will see a reversal syndrome. There are families that there's one person that is keeping watch over the family. It is that person's prayer, that person's intercession, his priesthood, standing day and night, is what is keeping things going, things moving in the family. And yet they don't know when that intercessor falls. That's when you see the reversal syndrome. That's when darkness, you know, when Samuel died, what happened? Israel entered into captivity. Go and read. It was after Samuel died that, you know, different things began to happen. Saul's death and all of the conquest of Israel is connected. The time that Eli, the priesthood, fell, the priesthood was corrupted. That was when the ark of God was even taken away. When Samson was captured, which Samson is captured, where would be Israel? Because he was the charge. So they couldn't stand with Archbishop, and then things, probably there were pressure from everywhere. At that time he was attacked, and it was an attack. There was a strong resistance and opposition against him, because the spirit found out that it is his gatekeeping that has opened a vote in the atmosphere of heaven, of Ghana. So they attacked him, and when they attacked him, they didn't stand with him. You see, the people on ground, they don't know. So when that vote was closed, all of them that seemed to be relevant internationally, everybody was brought back. They reset everything, and their influences began to die. Why? The gatekeeper. Let me read the Daniel I was reading. The gatekeeper was attacked, and they didn't manage to support. You see, sometimes you may think it is you. Sometimes you may think what it is you, but it may not be you. It may be somebody, a gatekeeper somewhere. It may be a covenant that you know nothing of, that is speaking for you. The Israelites were blessed because there were covenants. When you come as an Israelite, you are blessed already. Why? You didn't labor to enter. Somebody has labored. Covenant are speaking. Why we need to be humble in some of these things. He said, the king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth, it is that your God is a God of gods and the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal us this secret. Said, then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Now Daniel is going to be busy now, but you know, when they even passed a law in chapter 6 that nobody should pray, Daniel was keeping 3 watches. He was keeping 3 watches. He understood that his role is not about the governance of the city, of the provinces, of the empire, but he has to stand as a keeper, as a watcher, as a gatekeeper. So they made him governor and all of that. And look at what Daniel said. He says, then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. He declined all of the things that were given, things that will make you busy to lose. When you see, when you are busy, those who are busy in the kingdom, maybe traveling here and there, that is their own role. They are supposed to take the gospel, but they are not the ones sponsoring what is going on in the spirit realm. They may not know. They may not know, because the requirement, the price requirement, the time investment that will have to go into the labors that is required to push them to that international stream. It's not about what you prayed yesterday. What will sustain you there you can't meet it. So God will raise watchers, gatekeepers, and intercessors at the background. They might not be popular because God doesn't want them to be too busy. Because if you have to fly from here, move from here, and go from here, and go from there, if even you were gatekeeper before, God will have to take that thing from you, because He has to now anoint others to stay on the altar. So Daniel declined it and said, anoint Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but for me, I will sit in the gates. And he sat in the gates. He sat in the gates because he was not supposed to be busy. Listen, our assignment as gatekeepers over the borders, over territories, we are not supposed to leave it. We can't leave it. I say we can't do what? We can't leave it. When I traveled to Nigeria, as I entered Nigeria, then a spirit, that spirit, no, it's a border spirit. I was talking to Billy, we were looking at it. It's one of the powers in the air. It surveys the borders of Ghana. And just by penetrating into Nigeria, there was something that let them know that I don't know what it means. And then they came to attack. Say, I'm a gatekeeper. Don't bother yourself about your sisters, about your brothers. Don't bother yourself so much. We are called differently. In the ministry, we are not supposed to bother ourselves about our brothers and about our sisters. Do what you have to do, and you will do well. The things that people will have by doing everything that they have to do, you have it, and even have it in abundance. Believe me. I mean, Daniel was not a pauper. You see, it is the gatekeeper. Why certain higher powers, spirit from the heavens, will come against us. Powers that control Ghana will come against us. It's because when you read the book of Daniel, you find out that it is the gatekeepers. Daniel was a gatekeeper. He was the one that was being confronted by the prince of Persia. He's the one whose activities were breaking through the higher heavens over Persia, so that the prince of Persia now noticed his activities. There were many men in Babylon, many men in Persia, but Daniel's activities were penetrating through, and he was noticed, and the kings and the prince of Persia came to attack. That is what is going on here. Spirit, the higher powers want to stop it, because the gatekeepers must be attacked first. Those who are on ground, they are not the gatekeepers. They must be attacked first. When their voices are shut, many other things will shut down. It may take time. It's like when the iron is unplugged, it will take time for it to. So things may still be going on, but you may see that after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you find out that certain voices will begin to rise again. Certain demonic voices, demonic altars, because the time that those altars over Ghana, false prophets were judged, it took a while. When we prayed and did those warfares, it took a while before the manifestation. It's the same thing when the gatekeepers fall. If Ghana stood with Archbishop at the time, listen, it would have been easy for everybody. Maybe this will not be our allocation. By now, many people would have been outside. Many people would have broken through the international stream. The church in Ghana, the revival would have come, and it would have been stronger. But the church didn't stand. The church criticized Archbishop. He left him. You see, you may do many things, but there's a covering over Ghana. You can't break out, and what you may do may not have so much weight. What about all the? Sometimes you watch many things on TV and on social media, you find out nothing is inside it. All kinds of directions and so many things. Me, my spirit, some things like craftiness, scheming in ministry. The Ghana church is full of scheming. So many scheming, like bring stones to church. We are doing this. Bring this. Bring all kinds of. If the power of God is there, you don't need so many schemes. You don't need many kind of Now you have to title things. You have to do things in a way. I don't know how to explain it because I understand it, but I don't want to communicate it in a way that will look like you are attacking somebody. You have to say things. Sometimes some things when you see, you can't tell somebody that, listen, maybe this month all your problems will go out. It's gimmicks. Like maybe saying some things in a way. The problems are not going away today. It's not even about problems. We teach you to love God and to pray and to go deep. But the focus, it might not be people going deep. The focus can be something different. So we have to tell them things that, and it is normally the surface people that we can touch, because may God give us something deep. May people come to the point that, say I'm a gatekeeper.